On December 26, 2004, a massive earthquake off the northern coast of Sumatra created a tsunami that swept across the Indian Ocean. It hit the surrounding countries with waves ranging from 25 to 70 feet. Estimates indicate more than 200,000 dead, 100,000 missing, and more than 1 million left homeless. One of the hardest hit countries was Sri Lanka. The tsunami wiped out communities and their infrastructures all along the coast. In many cases, life for them will not return to normal for years to come. Shelters have displaced people to the outskirts of their former communities. They are often far away from their homes, jobs, places of commerce and schools. People have had to rely on walking or spending money they couldn't spare on public transportation. World Bicycle Relief is providing 24,400 bicycles to a carefully selected group of men, women and children who are in greatest need.
මම කරම්දේ ප්‍රාදේශීය සභාවේ උපසභාපති වෛද්‍යයාම ඒ දවසේ ඉඳලම ඉතින් මේ තත්ත්වය තුල අපි නොඑක් උත්සාහ කරේ මේගොල්ලන්ගේ ජන ජීවිතය යථා තත්ත්වයටපත් කරන්න. ඒක තමයි පළවෙනි ස්ටෙප් එක. සෙකන්ඩ් ස්ටෙප් හැටියට මේගොල්ලන් ජීවත් වෙ වෘත්තියෙන්. කියන්නේ ජීවත් වෙන්න ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ රැකියාවට අත දීමේ ගැන ප්‍රශ්න තිබුණා. ඒ වෙලාවේ මෙතුමා ඉදිරිපත් වෙච්ච ගැන මේ වගේ සොයන් රැකියාව කරලා බයිසිකල් දීම ගැන ඇත්තටම මේක තමයි විය යුත්තේ.
World Bicycle Relief believes bicycles can provide a much-needed mode of transportation essential to knitting communities and commerce back together. By providing bicycles to those most impacted by the tsunami, World Bicycle Relief is giving them a key element to help rebuild their lives and the lives of their families. This key is inexpensive, sustainable mobility.
It's providing bicycles is like the low-hanging fruit in terms of poverty relief or disaster relief. Mobilizing people is just fundamental to economic development or healthcare or education.
What really struck me about the idea of bikes was it was a solution to quite a serious problem that occurs in displacement.
We came up with a criteria as to who should receive the bikes. One is, we felt that school children, because we want to ensure that all the school children in the camps and also who are displaced go to school. Number two, all those who are living more than 2 kilometers away from their working place. Government officers who are doing service to the communities, fishfolk and also the vegetable people.
In terms of economic development, the beauty is that people can either get to their jobs or find better jobs with the power of bicycles. Beyond that, the bike, of course, gives people much more carrying capacity, and then many people can operate an entire business off of the back of a bicycle.
අපි හොඳට සුනාමියෙන් ඉස්සෙල්ලා ජීවත් වුණා. අපේ තිබිච්ච ඔරුදැල් ඔක්කොම සුනාමියට අහු වුණා. ඉතින් අපිට දැන් ඒවා ආපහු ලැබුණත් වාරකම් කාලේ නිසා අපිට රස්සාවක් කරගන්න බෑ තාම.
For a poor family to receive a bike, it's just like maybe somebody from the West getting a car. And for the fisher folk, it meant they can get back to their business because they buy the fish from the boats or wholesale and they go house to house to sell it.
The beauty of a bike is that it's a lot cheaper to own, it's a lot cheaper to run. And bike is a really appropriate solution to that mobility problem.
මම එන්ට්‍රා ව්‍යාපාරයක් කරගෙන ගියේ. ඊට පස්සේ සුනාමි බස් ඔක්කොම විනාශ වුණා. සුනාමියෙන් ඉස්සෙල්ලා මම දවසකට එකයි දෙකක් වගේ වැඩ කරේ. දැන් බයිසිකල් එක ලැබුණාට පස්සේ මහාට දැන් වැඩ 5ක් 6ක් දවසකට කරගන්න පුළුවන් තත්ත්වයක් තියෙනවා. පවුලේ 4 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නා. මමයි මගේ පුතයි අම්මයි තාත්තයි. නෑ මම්මත් සනි ප්‍රයෝජන පුතාව ඉස්කෝලේ වසන්න යන්න උදේට. වසන මම හිම වැට්ටයන්.
ලකුණා වෙන්න කැමති යන්නේ සර් කෙනෙක් ඒ අය තමයි. ඉස්කෝලේ යන්න පාවිච්චි කරනවා පොලේ යන්න කඩේට යන්න පාවිච්චි කරන ඉස්කෝලේට කිලෝමීටර් 4ක් විතර දුරින් තමයි ඉස්කෝලේ තියෙන්නේ.
For education, it gives kids the ability to overcome long commutes so they can stay in school as opposed to spending all of their time walking to school, which oftentimes results in hours per day, and then sometimes the family just has to pull them out of school.
நான் ஒவ்வொரு கிளாஸுக்கு போகலாம் பைக் இருக்கிறேன் இல்லாட்டி சில வேலை பக்கத்தில் பைக் வாங்கி கட்டடி போடும் சில வேலை இதில் இப்போ உங்களோட படிப்பு தொடர்ச்சியாக ஈடுபட்டு கொண்டிருக்கு.
சுனாமியால் பாதிக்கப்பட்டதால இதுல இருந்து சுனாமி பாதிச்சுட்டு மினி தேவையில்ல வாழ்க்கை வந்து இருக்காங்க நல்ல பேரையும் புகழையும் எடுத்து கொடுக்க முடியும் என்னால முடியும் என்ற லட்சியத்தோட நான் வாழ வேண்டும்.
For parents, it is very useful for them because they can take their children on the bike to the school and then they can go about doing their work.
I just came from a meeting yesterday with Oxfam and UNICEF, and they were saying how much they appreciated the fact that we were supplying bikes to public health inspectors. The fact that they all had bikes meant they could cover now twice as many camps, which meant that issues of sanitation and drainage that were causing serious risks to population in those areas were being addressed a lot more quickly.
In disaster or poverty situations, oftentimes the people are a long way away from hospitals or clinics or caregivers. Mobilizing people gets care workers to patients or patients to care workers.
දැන් හවසට බෙහෙත් ගෙන්න යන්න ඕන. මේ ඉඳලා තියෙන කිලෝමීටර් 5ක් විතර. ඇත්තමනේ බයිසිකලේ ලැබිච්ච එකෙන් අපේ හම්බ කරන මුදල හම්බ කරන්නේ අපේ රුපියල් 3400 එහෙම අපිට දැන් බයිසිකලේ යනකොට අපිට බයිසිකලෙන් යනකොට රුපියල් 10 20යි යන්නේ අපිට.
நான் வந்து வெட்டிக்ளோஎம் கோச்சில் ஃபேமிலி ஹெல்த் ஆஃபீஸராக ஒர்க் பண்ணுறேன். 4500 வந்து இந்த பராமரிப்பில் இருக்குது. கருவளமுள்ள தாய் வந்து 600 வந்து பராமரிப்பில் இருக்குது. நாம் வந்து முதல் பிள்ளைகளை பராமரிக்கணும். அப்படி இல்லை நடந்து போகிறோன்னு சொன்னால் ஒரு அரை மணி நேரம் அப்படியாவது இடைவெளி கூட. அப்போ ஒரு 15 வீடு பார்க்குறேன்னு சொன்னால் ஒரு 20 வீடு பார்ப்பேன் கூட பைக் தான்.
When a disaster strikes, a man falls. So things like blanket, food, clothing, water, shelter, those types of things help him to stand. Now, to keep him walking, that is where I see the bike comes in. The bike will help him to walk. Right? So there is a connection. That's why I said, it's not just a relief item. A bike is something more than a relief. It's between relief and development.
I think that this kind of project has a lot of potential to be replicated in other contexts. It's a good intervention, yeah, and I could see it not so much having legs for the future. Like it's a project that has legs, but it's probably got wheels rather.
We invest $75 on a bike, and it goes to a family which is averaging 5 members. Each member gets $15 from that investment, and a bike can be used for an average about 10 years. In terms of what you get from the bike, the income you get from the bike on a daily basis, you multiply that into 10 years and compare that with the investment of $15 per person, the return is so much.
Long after the media has left a disaster area like Sri Lanka, they're left to rebuild their lives. The men and the women have to find jobs to care for their families. The kids have to go back to school. This is where bikes can make the greatest impact. It helps in all of those areas: economic development, education, and healthcare. That's why we founded World Bicycle Relief.
Sri Lanka is just the beginning. World Bicycle Relief is committed to helping the men, women and children most affected by natural disasters and poverty restore their lives with the power of bicycles. Please donate now to World Bicycle Relief.